Here's the time one of Doof's inventions destroyed a city truck.
The gist, just make an example of, representative sample of.
And here's the time Doof made sharp, giant lawn gnomes rain down onto the city.
Who's protecting our garden?
As you can see, Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz has cost Danville a pretty penny over the years. But how much has he cost the city in total? Well, today, I'll be going through all the episodes of Phineas and Ferb and looking at some of his most harebrained schemes to find out. Starting with the episode where Love Handel comes back with a bang, it's Linda and Lawrence's wedding anniversary, and Lawrence does the worst thing a husband can do. He forgets.
Then it must be the day I realized how cute you are when you're angry.
Just another Thursday, Lawrence.
Nice try, but Linda ain't buying it. So to save their parents' marriage and give them the day they deserve, Phineas and Ferb make it their mission to have Love Handel play their mom and dad's special love song live. While the boys are busy getting the old band back together, good old Doof is busy trying to plan a celebration of his own.
Vanessa's birthday. Could you maybe help me set up the party for my little girl? I know we usually go about our daily battle of good versus evil.
Aw, come on, Perry. I know you two are sworn enemies, but it's Vanessa's birthday. Put all that stuff aside. Believe it or not, Perry agrees and helps Doof set stuff up. But when Doof shows Perry Vanessa's birthday fireworks,
All we need now is a victim to be tied to the rocket so they'll explode up in the sky in a grand display. And when I say awkward, I mean for you, not so much for me.
damn it, Doof, I thought you wanted to let bygones be bygones today. Anyway, as the party kicks off, Amphibious and Ferb get Love Handel performing for their mom and dad,
I admire your optimism, but besides your dad, what fans?
Perry manages to escape and instead traps Doof to the giant firework. And of course, Doof can't stop the firework from taking off. Putting a hole that big on a warehouse rooftop is sure gonna cost a pretty penny. But what about the stuff on the inside?
Wow.
Whoa, this is like the coolest looking party ever.
Now, obviously the gifts and stuff that were inside the building won't cost Danville a penny, but the soundstage he had, the lighting, the sound equipment for the music, the cleaning needed to repair the scorch marks on the walls. Oh, and I did say that Love Handel was back with a bang, didn't I?
Wait, is that Love Handel?
So, all in all, for trying to throw Vanessa a cool birthday party and double-cross Perry the Platypus, Doof has cost Danville right around the $47,500 mark, which is chump change compared to what we've got coming up. Like the damage Doof does in the episode Are You My Mummy? As the title of the ep kinda suggests, Phineas and Ferb are currently having a stroll around an Egyptian-themed cinema.
And apparently there used to be a whole pharaoh's tomb display with a mummy in his sarcophagus. I mean, you couldn't pick a better place to watch a classic old mummy movie.
And of course, the boys hear what their dad says and go looking for the mummy, which they obviously find. Although it turns out to be Candace.
Hey, Ferb. We got our own mummy?
While all that mummy madness has been going on, Doof has been prepping his latest innator, the Woodinator.
You see, Perry the Platypus, I'm going to unleash the water being held by this dam into that huge drainage pipe that leads directly to the ocean. The additional water will raise the sea level by 2%, and then my property, 1 block from the shoreline, will become beachfront property!
But Doof's innator doesn't send the water into the ocean. Instead, it crashes back towards Danville. And more importantly, straight for the Egyptian-style cinema.
You know what this is? Our second booby trap.
This is no ordinary flood. It's super high pressure, and it goes spurting out the cinema right from the head of the Sphinx.
Hey, Candace, you missed all the fun.
While it's good no one got hurt, there is still some pretty heavy damage here. The water flooding and destroying the cinema is gonna cost around $110,000 if we're saying that every square foot of damage would take $5 to fix. Plus, you've got the roof of the Sphinx, that's another $15,000, and then there's the residual water that's sprayed out over Danville for another estimated $48,000 of cleaning up. So, all in all, Doof's plan didn't add any money onto his property, but it did add money onto a check cleaning up his mess to the tune of $173,000. If you didn't know, Dr. Doofenshmirtz has lived a pretty sad life, but no one has ever really taken notice of him, cared for him, or pitied him, which is exactly why he's created
Oh, the big sad ionator! So I'm running it at night when the electricity's cheaper.
As you can see, his big sad ionator is taking up like 65% of the power in Danville, and Doof clearly hasn't done the proper wiring because... Yep, one man, one very evil, very sad man that has managed to pull the plug on the power for everyone in the city. It's not just like house power, everything is down.
Well, it'll have to wait. Traffic lights are out all over the city.
All of Danville's top electrical engineers are on the case to try and bring back light to the city, but it takes a certain semi-aquatic mammal to deliver the final flick.
That's all it was?
You think I would have known that? I mean, I got a PhD.
You'd think that just flicking on a switch would make this a fairly cheap fix, right? Wrong. The power was off in the episode for a few hours, and with literally every single power outlet across Danville, you've got hundreds of engineers out trying to fix things. You'd have to replace thousands of transformers, control systems, overloads. You get the idea. You don't need a crash course on being an engineer. But for all this stuff, I think the city would need to spend at least $1,335,500 on fixing the Doof-caused blackout. When you're as heavy-handed as Doof, you're gonna cause some damage now and again. But away from his big, bold inventions causing mayhem, he's actually had a few miscellaneous mishaps. Like the time he invented the vaporizer-inator to take out things he didn't like this woman's annoying radio.
The song of the summer. Who decides it's the song of the summer? Vaporized!
Or these handless store mannequins.
Mannequins with no hands. Vaporized!
But the vaporizer-inator's most expensive bit of damage was when it took out this city cell tower.
Cell towers that look like trees? Vaporized!
I didn't realize these things were so expensive. I've marked this down on the low-end average at $215,000, but some of the big towers can fetch for like $1 million. Doof doesn't just rely on weaponry to destroy the things he hates, he also loves using the weather, or in this case, a tornado. He creates a tornado to run through Danville, but he ends up getting caught in the crossfire.
Oh no, what is this?
That truck is actually stolen too, so we can add that to the list. But the biggest bit of damage Doof's tornado does is when it rampages through and destroys these water park slides.
What was that?
The average cost for a water park slide as big as those three is right around $78,000. So if we round that up and multiply by 3, we get $235,000 worth of damage. It's strange, because apart from the slides in the truck, that tornado doesn't do a whole lot of damage elsewhere. One of the bigger bits of damage Doof does comes from the episode Hail Doofania, where he's a little bit jealous of his brother because he's just been elected mayor. So he creates his own city in Danville Bay.
Doofania! Where there will be no brothers trying to make me look bad. I will be the ruler of my very own evil empire!
It goes pretty well. The small-scale city is built without a hitch. But the only problem is, Doof built the whole city on a rubber boat foundation, so it's easily poppable. Is poppable even a real word?
Huh? Well, that can't be good.
An entire city, albeit small, is now floating. Or sinking in Danville Bay. The environmental cleanup of that isn't gonna be cheap. There'd need to be a marine salvage team to dive down and find the mess. You'd need cranes and a whole nother team to lift the parts out of the bay. You'd have to dispose of the debris. You get the idea. It's a lot of money. Around $1.465 million to be exact. So in total, for these combined harebrained schemes, I reckon Doof has cost Danville a whopping $1,960,485, which which is gonna be a lot less than the time Doof has a roller coaster dropped in downtown Danville. Doof usually has a reason he builds his wildly complex and ineffective innators, like, you know, he's never smiled before. So, behold, my make everyone never smile again innator. You get what I mean. Anyway, in the first episode of the show, Rollercoaster, he doesn't really have a reason for his latest plan, stopping the rotation of the Earth.
Do this. What could he possibly have to gain? Well, let me just answer that by saying I haven't really worked out all the bugs yet.
So the idea is he's got a huge magnetic device that's gonna pull the tinfoil he's stuck on the eastern seaboard, and that in turn will slow down the Earth. But it doesn't quite work like that.
Oh, the eastern seaboard, thereby reversing rotation of the... Well, that didn't work.
Not only does it not work, now Doof and Perry have to deal with a 2-ton ball of tinfoil flying at them at over 200 miles an hour.
Quickly, we must separate the magnet from the magnifier before it is too late!
While all this tinfoil trouble has been going down, over with Phineas and Ferb, they've been creating, like, the biggest roller coaster of all time.
Now this is the light.
Like, this thing is gigantic.
So, who wants to go first?
And boy, does it work.
You all signed the waivers, right?
I mean, you wouldn't catch me on that thing, but it looks fun, I guess. Either way, this thing is big, like I've been saying. And you know what else it is? It's metal. And you know who has a giant magnet? Doof. Well, technically it's Perry here, but it's Doof's invention. And he accidentally picks up the entire coaster.
Look, see?
Okay, I give up. What am I supposed to be looking at?
And he ends up placing it right in the middle of downtown Danville.
Perry.
Now, the longest coaster ever built was Japan's Still Dragon in the year 2000, and that cost, at the time, $50 million. Now, of course, Danville wouldn't have to pay that much because they'd only be dismantling it and taking it away. But we are talking about 20 to 25,000 tons of steel here. For the steel alone, it would probably be a cleanup cost of around $2,165,000. Then for the rest of the cleanup, that includes things like any debris, cleaning out the concrete foundations, obviously the manpower needed to do such a task, I'd say you can stick another $925,000 on top, which comes out to $3,090,000. This 100% counts as Doof costing the city, even though Perry was the one who moved the roller coaster. Because if it wasn't for his scheme and his magnet, the coaster would have stayed in Phineas and Ferb's backyard. We know that Doof loves creating innators that are pretty specific. In the past, we've had the chicken supinator, the chicken replacinator. Well, in the Magnificent Few, his invention was created to control termites?
Termites from all over the tri-state area are being controlled by me using my termite controlling helmet. See, they have cute little helmets just like me.
Have any of you guys ever had a termite infestation? I'm just saying, if you don't think this is evil, you're wrong. These things are the devil. And it's not long before Doof's termite army starts causing chaos.
You talking to me? And she was like all in my face and... Termites!
That fence is just the beginning. Anything wooden around those termites is gonna get gobbled up, like this outdoor toilet. But they don't just target the small stuff. Oh no. They make short work of this pretty big barn.
Holy cow!
The cows start stampeding thanks to Doof's termites, and they head straight for downtown Danville and the Googleoplex Mall. tons of clothes get trampled on, displays are destroyed, and changing rooms are run riot by the stampeding cows. So I'd say they easily do $15,000 worth of damage. After that little outburst, Phineas and Ferb manage to round the cows up while Perry takes down Doof. Well, to be more specific, his own termites take him down when he lands on a wooden roller coaster. As you probably already guessed, roller coasters are pretty expensive things to put together, even if they're wooden. The most expensive wooden coaster on record was built for $13 million, but this is a bit smaller, so I think it'd be fair to price this coaster at around the $4.6 million mark. Expensive, but hey, at least the falling debris can be used to help keep the cows still.
That was easy.
As for Doof, well, his termite clan is still chasing him. So, thanks to Doof, a fence, toilet, and barn got munched. The whole of Danville had to deal with a bunch of scared stampeding cows, and then for dessert, his termites tucked into that wooden coaster. It's not exactly gonna be cheap paying for all of that, and when I do a quick calculation, the total cost to Danville for Doof's termite trouble is $4,666,249. What a waste of taxpayers' money! At the halfway point, we've barely scratched the surface with how much Doof has cost Danville, and we're already sitting at $11,673,234, which might not sound a lot, but we're about to more than double it as we move into Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension. I know Doof is usually pretty poor at getting his inventions to work how he wants, but the guy is actually a pretty good inventor when it comes to the basics anyway. But he is no match for Phineas and Ferb, who are way better inventors. And when the kids come crashing into Doof's lair and offer to fix the machine they broke, of course, it works 100 times better.
Now, behold the mind-blowing first images from beyond our dimensional reality!
Doof's other dimensioninator rips open a hole into another dimension, where he isn't a useless villain, but instead has lived up to his evil promise, and rules the tri-state area with an iron fist. Obviously, the big difference between our Doof and this other dimension Doof is that the latter is far more evil. So it makes sense that when he uses our Doof to remake the other Dimensioninator, he quickly double-crosses him when it's completed.
You owe me 3 sodas. Okay, Doom for him too. What? But I'm you! Doom!
The evil Doof uses the machine to travel into the other Danville and release his vicious Norm bots to terrorize the city.
It's okay, it's a rental.
Who will stop these guys from tearing Danville limb from limb? Well, Phineas and Ferb, of course. They manage to go back to their dimension, and they stumble upon Perry's secret lair, where in case of emergency, Perry has left these weapons to the pair.
Ferb, I think I know what we're gonna do today.
So, with their new weapons, the boys suit and boot up anyone who'll help and engage in an all-out war with the Normbots in downtown Danville. There's tons of debris flying around, planes flying overhead dropping more robots, and even an explosion or two. But no matter how many robots they destroy, another 5 keeps popping out of the other dimension. So, Perry and Phineas head to Doof's lair to take down his evil twin and save Danville. The evil Doof chases Phineas and accidentally hits the receiver that controls the Normbots, and that gives Phineas an idea.
Come on, you stupid thing, work!
Oh, so that dish must be what's controlling the robots. Maybe I don't need to close the portal if I could just take out that... Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you don't.
And with a well-timed hit, Phineas sends the evil Doof's Normbots packing. Or should I say, falling.
Babies, no! What have you done?
That doesn't stop Evil Doof, though. He has a whole mech suit ready to rumble, but a surprise appearance from our Doof with a gift makes him think twice.
Oh, heart melting, backstory resolving, evilness diminishing. It's the least I can do. I don't even know what I was thinking with the whole evil robots thing.
With Choo Choo now in his hands, the Evil Doof promises to go back home. But first, he has some cleaning up to do.
Come on, hurry!
Do I even need to say there's nothing there anymore?
Well, I bet the people who control Danville's repairs budget were pretty happy to see that. They'd have had to spend billions cleaning up those robots from across the city. However, there's still a pretty penny to be paid. We don't actually see a lot of damage, apart from the 118,500 worth of damages we saw with the car, wall, and the bus. But when a full-on war breaks down with serious explosions, weaponry firing, and planes flying overhead dropping more robots, it's hard to see how things weren't damaged further. Plus, I know Evil Doof cleaned up his mess and all that, but those robots did thud to the ground. They can't be light. So if we take that original $118,500 and let's say we add another $13,675,000 for the general repairs of buildings, roads, and the cleanup of any debris or general mess from the onslaught, that brings the total bill for Danville to $13,793,500. And in my book, they get off lightly. Any other time, that damage could have easily been 100 times that. Have any of you guys ever heard the phrase, "Don't make a mountain out of a molehill"? Well, Doof has, and he hates it.
All my life, I was told, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Well, now I intend to do just that.
His latest invention, the mountain out of a molehillinator, is maybe his pettiest invention of all time. And with it, he plans to enlarge the moles that are currently plaguing Danville to the point that their molehills are literally mountains. And you know what? It works. In a big way. Now, this might not seem like a lot of damage, but let me tell you, it is. Every street in Danville is now effectively ruined. There's a giant mole on the loose and it's left behind a hole that's 3 houses tall and who knows how far deep. Plus, the debris from the mountain will need clearing. There's drainage and wiring issues that come along with this too. On average, those giant molehills will cost around $20,000 each to fix, and we can easily estimate there's over 100 of them. So that's $2 million right there. Then I'd say that giant hole is probably 10 times the amount of damage. So let's set that at a $20 million price for Danville. So overall, that's another $22 million added to the tally. And if it's as deep as it is tall, it could be a lot more. As for the mole, well, he doesn't actually cause more damage. He just heads to the ocean.
Hey, check it out, an egg. This is why you shouldn't make mountains out of molehills. Curse you, giant mole!
Hey, I'd take a giant mole over what's coming up in the next episode. For a guy as successful as Doof, it's pretty funny that his brother is the popular and good-looking mayor of Danville, Roger Doofenshmirtz. And in Night of the Living Pharmacists, Danville is having a water tower unveiled by Roger. A water tower which is right next to Doof's lair. And he wants to ruin the unveiling with this Inator.
Once he's hit by a beam from this baby, he'll become so abominable, so disgusting, so hideous, so ghastly. Anyway, Roger will become so repulsive that his popularity will plunge.
So, what sort of hideous creature does Doof's invention turn Roger into? Maybe some sort of troll or an ogre? Nah.
That was purely coincidental. But hey, I hit Roger. Oh, I get it. Repulsive. I see. That's just the universe making a joke at my expense.
But his machine doesn't just turn him into a clone of Doof. Oh no. The thing basically turns Roger into a zombie with only one goal: to infect everyone in the tri-state area.
Lots of me.
The Doofs start spreading like wildfire. At first, it's just the people at the unveiling, but soon it's nearly everyone.
Don, let's go to the weather.
Lots of me. Let's go to traffic. Lots of me. Back to you, Gordon. Lots of me.
When there's that many people being turned into zombies, Danville is basically being run by the Doofs, and that can only mean one thing: damage. It starts fairly small with Phineas and Ferb's machine.
Oh no! The pharmacist trashed the machine! Can we rebuild it?
We can try, but we should do it inside.
And then the whole town is plunged into another blackout, as well as a Doof-induced drought and phone network outages.
We still have electric power.
And water is still flowing out the tap.
Then if you pay close attention to this scene, and just ignore the great Shaun of the Dead reference, you can see some of the Doofs breaking into stores and causing damage to the windows.
My clothes are alive. Scarier than these pharmacists saying,
Lots of.
That's just the beginning though. We start to see the city being trashed, buses smashed, and cars flipped over.
Here they come! They're all over the place!
Come on, let's go!
Man, 3 whole cars in a city bus aren't cheap, but that's only a small snapshot into the damage the Doofs have done to Danville. We saw a little while ago they were in the skies, but when the Doofs infect the rest of OWCA, these Doofified agents start attacking Perry and the real Doof, who are in a helicopter.
Perry the Platypus, when you get a minute, grab the controls, would you?
Doof and Perry manage to stay in the helicopter, but the OWCA agent takes the wheel and sends the helicopter heading straight for Doof's lair, where the rest of the gang are. Well, that worked out pretty well. The agent is unconscious, the rest of the Doofs have been wiped out, and sure, the helicopter will be scratched, but at least it didn't break.
Strange and unusual.
Me and my big mouth. Doof realizes if he doesn't act fast, the entire world could end up as him. And while it sounded good at first, it's starting to wear pretty thin. So he teams up with Phineas, Ferb, and the gang to reverse his Inator. And the way to do that is water. Lots and lots of water. So it's a good thing there's a new handy-dandy water tower right nearby, huh?
This is Sarah Molehill.
Now, while it worked, there's gonna be a mammoth cost in repairing all the water damage across the city. Like, every building had to be flooded with water in order to revert the Doofs. There are around 22,300 homes in Danville, all of which on average would need about $30,000 worth of repairs. Then there are another 3,500 buildings which are like grocery stores, libraries, skyscrapers, and they're gonna need an average of $50,000 spent on them. So across all the buildings, the water damage would cost Danville right around $844 million. But you know that water stunt? Turns out that was only for the Doofs in Danville.
Too bad about the rest of civilization.
Now, that's certainly not a cheap thing for the city to build. Danville is around 23 miles in diameter, so per mile, the fortified wall would probably cost around $17.7 million, which is $401,700,000. So for the doofification of the city, Danville would have to spend a whopping $1,249,420,500 on cleaning up Doofenshmirtz's mess. And still, he's done worse. If there's one thing Doof loves, it's trying to conquer the tri-state area. If he stopped, Danville's wallet sure would be better off. But the evil heart wants what the evil heart wants. And in Flop Stars, he's once again trying to rule the land.
I will unleash an unprecedented reign of terror upon the entire tri-state area.
And to gain control of the tri-state area, Doof has put together a seriously impressive invention. His entire building is one giant robot that can cause havoc.
When it comes to havoc, nobody reeks like me.
As the robot begins terrorizing Danville, only Perry the Platypus can save the town. But he's too busy being offered food.
Very clever, Perry the Platypus. I was trying to ignore you, but you forced my hand. Now, I shall relax with a nice, tasty deli platter. Oh, where are my manners? Here you go, Perry the Platypus.
That monstrous building has ripped through a number of skyscrapers, and it's heading for one of the tallest towers in the city, Hugo Records.
Squeeze 20 years of entertainment out of this one videotape.
Ah, the giant robot is coming right at us.
Wow, you sure like a lot of pepper. I'm more of a paprika man myself.
It's a good thing Perry likes a hell of a lot of pepper on his deli platter, because Doof's robot is seriously allergic to it.
It will take more than condiments to foil my brilliant plan.
Man, that robot spit them out hard. They don't just go through one wall, they go through two. If something doesn't break Doof's fall, he's a goner.
What an unbelievable stroke of luck. I'm okay. Still better than... Curse you, Perry the Platypus!
This invention, in terms of the potential damage it could have done to Danville, is massive compared to what it actually did. We know about the truck in the walls, but we also saw the building tear through 8 skyscrapers. Now, these things really aren't cheap. On the low end, which for argument's sake we'll go with here, they can set you back $300 million a piece, which for those alone would be $2.4 billion. So if we add the cost of the walls and the truck to that, we get an overall tally of $2,400,086,000. Just imagine how much damage that robot could have done if it had a little more time. Well, I bet the city planners aren't complaining. After combing through all of the most destructive episodes in the show's history, Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz has well and truly busted Danville's bank account. Thanks to him, they've had to fork out a total of $3,696,973,234 to fix up his mess. For that sort of money, they could put a down payment on building a whole new Doof-free city. Well, we've got our answer, so that's all the Doof-related destruction we've got for you today. But if you're wanting to binge on some more top-quality content, then give the video on screen now a click. And until next time, I'll see you later.